Inter are starting to pull away in the race for the Scudetto, and Bayern drop points in the Bundesliga again.
In England, 2 of the top 8 failed to secure all 3 points. Going to make a fun last third of the season. And in Spain, the gaps up top are widening more than snooze at his prostate exam. All this and more in this episode 112 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. News kicks off.
Let's dig in. All right, I'm not even going to acknowledge that. We're just going to welcome back.
That's why I wanted to keep La Liga. Sorry.
We didn't want to mix it up. And I was wondering why you were so steadfast about.
I was like no, I got to say La Liga.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there. Pretty funny. Okay, bro. Anyway, welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. If this is your first time listening, I'm sorry. And also, I'm Snooze. I'm the host here. We got a full fam. We have J-Fam, the Brainiac in the back. Danny P on the 1s and 2s, but everybody's favorite hype man, Vic, what you sipping on, dog?
Well, in April, I'm headed to Ireland and Scotland. So damn it, I need to start drinking some more scotches. And I'm starting off with the one that started it all, Lagavulin 16. If you're a big Parks and Recs fan, you know exactly why. I'm starting off with Lagavulin. Yes, exactly. So I don't even think you like it. But yeah, this one's completely smoky. I'm pretty sure, Snooze, you would hate it. It's smoky. It's a little briny, but it is so good. It has some green apple in there as well. I don't know why I'm trying to show you like the legs. That never works in this camera. But while I take a sip of this, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. It's the best way to help us out on the channel. And maybe tell YouTube these guys are kind of cool to talk to every once in a while. So cheers, everyone. I don't know if that was working.
That was like a non-vibration ching.
Yeah, this glass is a little bit different. Glass courtesy of your boy Blake.
Hey, there you go.
He does a lot of good stuff with like horror films and stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff.
What kind of films?
Straight up horror films. If you like that kind of stuff, go give him
scary.
Yeah, scary.
Before we move on, because I want to make sure that I address that all this talk that he's talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
No one knows what I'm talking about. You said I don't like smoky. I do like smoky drink. Like I love a mezcal. I just don't like the peated taste. Like it tastes like burnt plastic to me. I don't know. The scotch that I've had anyway. Just wanted to call it out for people. You know what I mean? Like there's different types of smoke. Some of them don't involve burning plastics in your drink. And sometimes that's what it tastes like to me. But you know what? Maybe you'll bring me some back from Scotland and I'll be able to try a fresh Scottish, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Is it even a Scotch? It's not a Scotch, just a whiskey over there. You can't call it Scotch when you're in Scotland. I'm glad I'm saving you from going over there and looking like a fool.
Almost.
We have a full slate of games to cover today. We have La Liga, the Prem, Serie A, and of course the Bundesliga. So I don't think we have anything much. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's go to the Austin FC Minute.
Threw him for a loop.
I was just going to move on. I was going to move on, but you know, we had a fun day. So I wanted to talk about it because, as you know, we had the preseason game. And Vic, I'll let you break down the game, but it was a great Sunday, awesome day, a little cold, but you know, it was good in the sun, right?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a good game. It was a preseason game, so we're like you see in the NFL, they're trying out your practice squad. We had a bunch of academy players in there. We had Micah Burton, who played with the U.S. men's under 17 team. Urban Torres, who we just signed to a Austin FC first team contract, got a lot of playing time. Yeah, it was awesome. We got our boys John Bell out there, who we just signed this past winter. Is it winter, right? Yeah, it's winter.
Winter, yeah.
We just signed this past offseason. John Bell was out there. We had a little guy, I forgot his name, but he was balling. It was a lot of names and it didn't help that Austin FC don't put names on their preseason jersey. So I was like, oh, I just don't know numbers.
This sucks. We just need to know who these guys are. Come on.
Yeah, but we look pretty solid. It's just, you know, we were We lost 2-0. I'll tell you that. New York definitely beat us 2-0.
Okay.
But it's preseason, and but it was a good game all around. It was beautiful weather. It was nice and crisp, and sitting in the sun just felt great. And it was a good run through of going to the games as well, because we have a new supporter, a new season ticket holder.
Yes,
your boy Danny P in the back. Yeah, he was there too.
I missed him because we were like ships passing in the night. But yeah. I heard that he was there. That was pretty cool. I got to bring my daughter. She was having fun. She was dancing to the music, and I got to watch a solid 15 minutes of the game, which I realized we were walking out, and it was like right after halftime, something like that. And I told my wife this was a good practice run to tell me that if I'm going to go to a game for real, I don't need to bring you or the baby. Y'all can stay home and hang out, and then I can go to the game because, I don't know if you've ever tried it, Vic, but kids don't like to sit still. And she was wanting to walk everywhere because she walks now. So, she's independent. Doesn't want anybody to help her out. So,
I completely ruined her day by picking her up, and she just started crying. I was like, it's okay. One day.
Yeah.
I'll bribe her with some money.
Yes. The uncle with the money. That's how you do it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was it for the Austin FC Minute. Just wanted to get that out there because we did. It's getting closer and closer, man, into this month. 26 days to the first game. No, 21st, right?
Yeah.
So 19 days.
19 days.
Nice. You see that math there? Okay. Well, we have a whole lot of stuff to get through with the show. So let's jump in. Let's go to Italy.
Let's do it to Serie A.
And for all these leagues, as you know, the winter window just closed. And so there's a lot of different signings coming in. Not a whole lot in Serie A that's done late. Obviously, Roma had a whole bunch, and there were a couple others. Raspadori coming back to the Serie A from Madrid. But we don't have a whole lot at the what do they call it? Like the final hours of this window. Not a whole lot that were going on. But the one piece of news that I did find from this weekend, you'll see that there were no ultras at the Lazio game against Genoa last Friday. And that was because it was a mass protest among the ultras and season ticket holders to protest against club ownership and perceived lack of ambition in the league and the transfer market. Crazy stuff to see a basically empty Stadio Olimpico. I know when we went for the Lazio match, I think it was against Atalanta, there was it was essentially like, what would you say, 75% full. Right across from us was pretty empty. This one, it was like COVID. There was nobody there. It was real crazy because you could hear echoes, of people yelling. And so, not a good time for the Lazio ultras and fans, and they were letting their voices be heard. Okay. And we'll talk about the game and how that all ended up. So let's jump in.
Let's do it. Let's start off with your No Business Soccer podcast, top matches and headlines for Serie A match day 23. And our first match was Napoli doing their part in their fight for number one, getting a 2-1 win against the visiting Fiorentina.
Yes, Napoli were able to grind out the victory despite all of the injuries on their side. They couldn't even field a full bench of players. I think Conte had 2 keepers on the bench, if I remember hearing correctly. He just needed the numbers, and they had one of their club leaders and the best defenders go down with what appeared to be a serious knee injury, and that was Di Lorenzo. But their first 11 were enough to get it done. They got 10, right? Because he was hurt. So you know what I mean? They got the first goal, and then our Fiorentina had a flurry of great chances that didn't go in thanks to a great goalkeeping performance from Meret. And the Viola could have been up maybe a goal or two. I mean, our Viola were just putting it on them. But as things typically go in this game, Vic, we know it well. Fiorentina couldn't finish, and Napoli goes down and makes it 2-0 to pour the salt in the wound. Fiorentina do end up getting a goal back, and it was a testy end in the final minutes of the game. But I think the better team won overall, and Napoli just getting thrashed with injuries right now.
And that'll do it. That's your lone match for top match for match day 23. We will go ahead and get into the rest of the match day then. And it started with that strike on Friday as our old stomping grounds, Lazio, are able to give Genoa their first loss in 2026 with a 3-2 win. And
it took a while for this one to get going, honestly. When it did, though, it did in a very big fashion. There were 5 goals in this match. and it was 0-0 in the 56th minute. So just think about that. Lazio went up 2-0 by the 67th minute, and then Genoa had to come all the way back and equalize by the 75th minute. So it was just back and forth at the very end, the tail end of this game, we should say. The winner came thanks to another penalty in the 9th minute of stoppage time. Cool stuff, and a great time for our Lazio, as the protesters wouldn't have been very happy about losing this one if they weren't able to get it over the line to Genoa. It was a cool moment, too, because after Pedro scored, I believe it was the very first goal that Lazio scored. It was a penalty. He ran over to the empty ultra section. He was kissing the badge, and he was pointing to the stands, like just being there with the fans and letting them know that he was hearing their voice.
What a nice touch. We then move to Saturday, as this battle of the newly promoted goes to Sassuolo, getting a decisive 3-1 win against Pisa.
Sassuolo making back-to-back wins in style as they go on the road to put 3 goals past Pisa. Sassuolo are up to mid-table now, and they look like they're well past the relegation battle. Not looking so good for Pisa, though. It looks like they might be on their way down.
And our next match was your No Business Soccer podcast top match. That was Napoli and Fiorentina. We talked about that, so we'll move to the conclusion of Saturday, which was Cagliari making it an easy 3 in a row against bottom of the table Verona, beating them 3-0.
Cagliari are on fire. They've won 3 straight in Serie A, and the combined score in those 3 games is 7 goals to 1 against. And those games include matches against Juve and Fiorentina. So Cagliari, it's not like they're just getting it done against the bottom teams. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, they probably would be considered one of the bottom teams up until recently. And now they're on fire. I can't wait to see how they continue this thing. Maybe they continue to get some wins here or there, and they can find themselves inside of the European places. We'll see. That's kind of a lot of hoping for where they finished the past couple of seasons. But as of right now, man, they are on fire.
Yes, sir. We then move to Sunday, as our milkmen still haven't gotten a win since December 12th as they fall to Torino 1-0.
That's a long time. That's coming up on 2 months right there. That's crazy. Torino absolutely needed these 3 points against a fellow relegation candidate, and they ended their streak of 4 straight losses to send the milkmen further down the pit of misery. Yeah, the milkmen just not looking like they're going to stay up this season.
And our next match left a lot to be desired as Como and Atalanta draw 0-0.
I think this was the first time, I can't remember if there was another one, Vic, maybe you can remind me, but where a match to watch had been pulled because it was a 0-0. I don't remember that being a thing, but here we are. It was a painful night for Como, who were up a man from the 8th minute on after an Atalanta player was sent off. Not 80th minute. I'm talking the 8th minute of the match. And he hit a dude in the face and got sent off. It did not matter because the AT aliens came alive, specifically their keeper, as he made save after save and kept Atalanta in the game. Then it was all set up for my boy Nico Paz to be the hero. A handball in stoppage time gave Como the penalty, and Paz steps up to win it, and it is blocked. And I'm telling you, the Atalanta keeper, Karnecki, I believe is how you say his name, Karnecki maybe, he deserves a raise after this game. It was incredible. Como had a XG, which is like their expected goal total from the game. How many goals that, if they shoot those normally, how many goals they should be expected to make. They had a 5.96 expected goals in this game, and it came away 0-0. Incredible.
That is crazy.
Like, I don't know if I've seen that before.
I don't even think I've seen one in like a game with 4 goals. That's
right,
crazy.
Exactly. Like an expected, like an XG of that. And yeah, because usually you see them outperform their XG, where it's like, oh yeah, it was a 1 XG, but they end up getting 3 goals, right? That makes sense because they get lucky, things happen. But for the opposite to be true, I don't know if I've ever seen that. Crazy times. Sunday
continued with Inter continuing their dominance against Cremonese, beating them 2-1.
Pretty straightforward stuff from Inter as they cruise past Cremonese, and it might have been different if Vardy didn't take a heavy touch en route to a one-on-one with the keeper, but Inter move on and continue their hot streak, and Cremonese continue to fall.
We then move to the conclusion of Sunday, and it was Juve putting on a show against Parma, getting a 4-1 win.
Juve make it 4 wins in 5 with this big win over Parma. Parma's goal was technically still scored by Juve, so it was an own goal, so maybe you can give that one to Juve too. But either way, they're really coming to life under Spalletti, and everything seems to be clicking for them at the moment. And it's another goal for McKinney, our boy. Hey, we needed the eagle sound.
I know.
That was a horrible eagle sound. Like, what was that, a dinosaur? Man, that was bad. Yeah, producers, let's put that one on there. Let's make sure we get an eagle sound. Okay, we got to keep those on lock for our Americans.
We then moved to Monday Night Football, and it was Udinese who were able to come out of the half firing and get a win 1-0 against Roma.
Udinese get back-to-back wins and snap their streak of 6 consecutive defeats to Roma with this win, and the crowd was absolutely incredible. Roma are definitely slipping a bit now, but also maybe Udinese are just starting to hit their stride. Maybe this is who they are. This is the real deal. I don't know. We've seen Udinese hit, I don't want to say the heights that they're hitting now, because I feel like they've always been mid-table to maybe pushing for Europe, but never quite getting into Europe, and that's where they are right now. They're in the mid-table. And I'm sure Vic will show us exactly where they are in 2 seconds. Maybe
yes,
3.
I will, because match day 23 ends on your special edition Tuesday Night Football, which has not happened as of this taping. So if you know how it went, let us know down in the comments below how Bologna and Milan panned out. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the table, because the table, we still have that game to play on Tuesday, but it looks much of the same. Of course, you have Inter on top. They have 55 points, 8 points clear of the number 2, which is AC Milan with 47 points. Then you have Napoli taking up the 3rd spot with 46 points, 1 point behind them. And rounding out our top 4 is Juve with 45 points. And then tickling our top 4
I was getting ready.
Is Roma in the number 5 spot. They have 43 points, still tickling the top 4 because they were not able to pull off the win today. And then if we look at speaking of not being able to pull off wins, if we look at the bottom of the table, we have Fiorentina, our boys in purple, in the number 18 spot. They have 17 points. We have Pisa behind them, 3 points behind them with 14 points. They are in the 19th spot. And we have a definite number 20 now, Elis Verona, because they have a negative 23 goal differential. And they also have 14 points, holding up the rest of the Serie A table. Lecce, I'll just talk about real quick about Lecce. They're in the 17th spot. They're just 1 point ahead of Fiorentina in that relegation battle. So pointing that out only because they are 5 points below Parma, who is the next closest in there. So we have a 4-team relegation battle going on in match day 23 and going forward.
And it's crazy because you look at the squads and you would just expect that Fiorentina are not going to be in that group. But they are. So, it is what it is. But
I think Lecce no, it wasn't Lecce. Lecce. I was thinking of Lecce was the other promoted team, but it was Cremonese, Pisa, and Sassuolo. Yeah.
Only one hanging out. I mean, Cremonese's on the way. They're trying to get there, but they're not there yet. So, I'm looking at the race for Europe. It was like there were some surprise teams up there, but now you look at the top 8: Inter, Milan, Napoli, Juve, Roma, Como, Atalanta, Lazio. It's like, those are the teams. There's not too much crazy. I guess Bologna, where are they at? They're at 30 points. So if they end up beating Milan, they could be 33. They'd be in the top. They'd be 8. So we'll see. But either way, anyway, it's just starting to flesh out like you kind of would expect. But at least the race for European spots will be fun. So, okay. I don't think we have anything else for Serie A. Good stuff. A lot of fun matches. I was thinking about it. I could have made the Lazio Genoa game be one of the matches of the week, but I had talked about them in the news and notes, and then I was talking about it again. I didn't know, but either way, that was a good game. And our Lazio don't get a lot of attention right now. They're not in a good spot. So, that's on me. Okay, let's do it. Let's move on to Germany.
Let's do it to Bundesliga.
And man, we got some big. Are you flipping us off right now? What's going on?
I haven't bit this fingernail. I don't know if any of the hardcore No Business Soccer podcast supporters have noticed yet. I don't know. Probably not.
that's your fingernails.
That's my fingernails the longest it's been.
I mean, it is pretty nasty. Years. Are you just growing it out for this segment specifically? So that you can
No, I don't know.
Is that the only one? Are the rest of them that big?
No, they're not. I just bite them, and I haven't bit this one in a long time. We're spending way too much time on this.
That's incredible stuff, though, because like I don't have one nail that I just don't bite. I bite all my nails. Why would you just not bite one nail? It doesn't make any sense.
It's useful every now and then to like just like scratch or like.
The thought of how like much dirt is under that nail is just.
I clean it. I just don't bite it.
You clean one nail, like
it's clean.
You scrub that with the toothbrush. Your one nail. Oh my god, that's hilarious! Just the thought of you like I clean it every night. All right, so sorry. Let's jump into the matches.
Let's go ahead. We have no news and notes, so we'll go ahead and go into match day 20. And of course, you're going to start with your No Business Soccer podcast, top matches and headlines for Bundesliga match day 20. And our first match continues the shockers as Bayern split the points with number 14 at the time, Hamburg drawing 2-2.
Yeah, this is all the news and notes are about how they're dropping points again, and it's a title race and all that. We'll get into it, but that's just it's crazy. Germany, at least the Bundesliga fans are kind of in a tizzy right now because of what could be coming into next weekend, and we'll talk about it. Bayern drop points again to let the title race open up just a little bit more as they fall on the road to Hamburg. And well, when I say fall, I mean they drop points on the road. It's kind of like losing if you're Bayern and you draw with Hamburg. It's a Hamburg side who haven't won a league game in a while and are slowly drifting down the table. But it was a great back and forth game that Hamburg actually went up 1-0 in. When Kane leveled it, it was 1-1 at the half. But 1 minute, not even a full minute into the second half, Luis Diaz came on and. Well, came on as in he was subbed on, and he put Bayern in the lead 2-1. When that kind of thing happens to Bayern that early in the second half, you just expected at that point that they were going to continue on and just destroy Hamburg. We kind of figured that's what would be going on. But credit to them, Hamburg that is, they were brave. They didn't back down. They didn't fold like many other teams do, and they just got the equalizer they needed. They were able to defensively kind of work things around. And I don't know if you know this, Vic, there's a defensive wunderkind. You like that word I'm using right there?
Nice.
Named
nice.
Luka Vuskovic. And Bayern were unable to break the deadlock in the final 35 minutes after that kid's header. I mean, he's on loan from Spurs first off, so I have to throw it out there, right? I mean, of course, our boy. But he has scored, I should have got the stats out, but he has scored so many goals for Hamburg, and they're not a team that's scoring a lot of goals. He's defensively sound, and he's just starting to really break out in his own. I'll probably tell a story of his in more detail, but he's on loan at Hamburg, and he wanted to go there because his brother plays for Hamburg, but he got hit with like a ridiculous doping charge, and so he got suspended for like 3 years. But again, he's on loan at Spurs, or he's on loan from Spurs, and in the summer, his brother's able to come back into the team. His ban is over. So his goal in life has always been to play with his brother. So I'm guessing they're not going to sell him, but they'll be loaned out again. I don't know. But anyway, cool story for that guy, Luka Vuskovic. And here he got the header that equalized, and it was just fitting because he's been the man. He's been that dude for Hamburg for a while this season. But either way, 35 minutes plus in the match after that header, and Bayern could not get it done. There's a shout for handball that wasn't given to Bayern, but by the way the game played out, it would have been pretty harsh if they were to give that penalty at the end of the game, the way that Hamburg had fought all through. And now Bayern have dropped points in back-to-back weeks. And it makes a very interesting matchup because Bayern, they play your, what do you always say, can it be number threes? Hoffenheim next weekend. And they go into that game off the back of dropping points in back-to-back games. And usually you would think that, Bayern's not going to drop points in 3 games. I said that about this game, though. And so now that game gets even more important, and even more so whenever we talk about the Dortmund game here in a minute, and I'll explain more. I have another one. That's me. My bad. I forgot. I threw another one in here. Stuttgart and Freiburg. But go ahead. You can introduce.
I was going to say your second match was a fun one. Stuttgart remaining in the 4th spot, beating Freiburg 1-0.
You knew exactly where I was going. I thought you were moving on, and see, I caught you. You caught me in my own slipping.
Hey, I got this.
Okay, my bad. And I am learning as I'm doing this podcast because I knew that geographically these two teams were close, but I was not aware that this was a derby. We made it one of the top matches to watch purely based on the form that both of these clubs were in, but the added stakes and pressure of this being the here you go, Vic, the Baden-Schwaben derby. Does that sound German? That is something No. The Baden-Schwaben derby made it that much more tense of an atmosphere. Both teams played well, and maybe Stuttgart should have done better with their chances, but ultimately it took an incredible long-range shot from Demirovic to unlock the Freiburg defense and take all 3 points for Stuttgart. In a game where it looked like both sides were only going to get a point, that was a fun one, and that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to put it as the top matches to watch in the Bundesliga for this weekend.
And that's it. Those are your top matches from Bundesliga match day 20. Let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the matches as I almost burp in your ear there. And they started on Friday as our boys in Köln are able to pick up all 3 against Wolfsburg, winning 1-0.
I'm sure there's some freaks out there that like the burping in the ear stuff,
No, I mean,
everybody got something. It's all right.
I can hear myself. Like, you can hear your loop, like you can hear your voice and everything. So even when I burp, I'm like, oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah. Hey, so sorry.
I'm sure it's for someone out there. Köln got the winner over Wolfsburg, and the little goats that could are storming back up the table with 2 wins in their last 3 games. They had some chances to extend their lead, and they'll definitely need to score some more to make it in the top 6. But for now, points will do. Well done, Köln. Cologne? Köln. Whatever.
Köln. And then we move to Saturday as Leverkusen are able to make it 2 wins in a row, beating Eintracht Frankfurt 3-1. And the misery continues for Frankfurt, who haven't won in Bundesliga or Champions League since December 13th.
That's whenever I was there. So I don't like that. As another curse. That's another curse right there. Eintracht were down 2 goals at the half, and it felt like a similar story for the Frankfurters. But credit to them, they came out of the break and got a goal back and looked the more likely to score an equalizer, even though they were down to 10 men after the 70th minute. But Leverkusen scored again in stoppage time to seal it, and it's just bad times in Frankfurt.
Our next match was Werder Bremen and Borussia Mönchengladbach getting a goal apiece, a point apiece with a 1-1 draw.
Oh, no, Gladbach. This is not a good time. They had 3 points in the bag, Vic, and then that ridiculous shot from Keke Top. That's how you say his name. Kiki? I would say Kiki Top, but I'm sure there's like some like European influence in that name. But Kiki Top sounds cool, right? That's a cool guy's name. Anyway, nice. He has a nice shot in stoppage time to split the points, but it's just horrible luck for Gladbach. Like, they cannot catch a break here. It was perfect goal, sends the fans into a frenzy for Werder, and it came just when you thought Werder were down and out. I mean, good stuff for Werder Bremen to get that goal, but man, Gladbach cannot catch a break.
Saturday continued with our Can It Be number 3, staying in the win column, this time at the expense of Union Berlin with a 3-1 win.
Hoffenheim are the most informed team in the Bundesliga, and they might be fun to watch now, too. Union Berlin are not a bad side, but the Hoff took it to them, and we're up 3-0 before Union got one back. I think it's time to start taking them as a real team, and I'm not saying real like title contender or anything like that. They've just been a very consistent team over the season. They only have 4 losses on the whole season, which is 3rd least in the Bundesliga, only behind Bayern and Dortmund. And again, it's a big deal because they play Bayern. It's in Munich next weekend. But man, could you imagine, Vic, if they end up getting something from that game? Crazy.
Big game. Next up was Augsburg, still strutting their stuff from last weekend as they get a 2-1 win against the relegation-threatened St. Pauli.
Yeah, we got a lot of teams that we called down and out not too long ago, and now they're starting to show out a bit. Augsburg get back-to-back wins, and this time it was thanks to a fantastic defensive showing from basically everyone on that side of the ball. I couldn't believe some of the saves, the goal line clearances, and tackles. This team just wanted it more than St. Pauli, and St. Pauli are upset with this one because they could have easily been up a few goals, but credit to Augsburg, they get it done.
Our next match was Mainz, able to stay in great form with a tough 2-1 win over number 5 at Leipzig.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Another team that was down and out, and here they are. They also back-to-back comeback wins for my boys' Mainz. That's not just a win. They came back to win in 2 games in a row, and they do it in Leipzig this time. You can't make this stuff up. They've been absolutely terrible all season, and they've won 3 of their last 4 and are 4 clear from the drop zone now after looking probably like the worst team for a while. I remember they were bottom of the table for at least 5 to 6 weeks already, and look at them now starting to tear it up. And I guess I can say in the next match they can gain momentum because I didn't want to say it for this one. I didn't want to put some bad juju on them, but you
just did. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn it.
Well, producer Danny P, earmuffs now because I'm about to talk for a bit. Saturday ended with, I'll let you know when you can take them off, Danny. Then Saturday ended with your No Business Soccer podcast top match. That was Hamburg and Bayern. We talked about that. So we go on to Sunday. And Sunday started off with your other No Business Soccer podcast top match. That was Stuttgart and Freiburg. Of course, we spoke about that. So we go to the conclusion of match day 20. That was Borussia Dortmund able to steal one from Heidenheim as they get the 3-2 victory. You can take the earmuffs off now, Danny.
Dortmund get the win. When he does. But that's why he put the P at the end of it, because that's like, you got to put the respect on that P. Dortmund get the win when they absolutely had to because Bayern dropped points, but they didn't look impressive and probably should have lost. I heard from our, I would say our friends. I call them my friends because I listen to them all the time. The Gegenpressing podcast, that Dortmund played like they were scared because they knew they had to win due to the points that Bayern had already dropped. And it felt exactly like that because in the game, they're obviously a better team than Heidenheim, but they just felt like they were backing up. Like they didn't want to push too far up because they were scared of what Heidenheim could do on the break or whatever. But there's just Heidenheim hadn't shown that they could do that. And they had great chances. This is Heidenheim I'm talking about now. Had great chances to take the lead and go ahead. And they just lacked that little bit of quality to really put Dortmund away. And even though it was unconvincing, who cares? Dortmund does not care because we know that there's now a pseudo title race. Do you have to do this if I say pseudo because it's already like implied? I don't know. But either way, there's a title race going on. And I keep saying that Bayern aren't going to drop enough points to make this race, but they just keep doing it. So maybe that happens next week. And that's why it's important because Dortmund play first next weekend. So if they win in their game before Bayern plays Hoffenheim, their gap will only be 3 points before Bayern takes the pitch, which is just is insane compared to, it was like 11, 12 points not that long ago. So yeah, if by the time Bayern take the pitch, they could have an only 3-point gap. Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff, and it's getting exciting. And those are all your matches for Bundesliga match day 20. Let's go ahead and take a look at that table because, like you said, Bayern are still on top. They have 51 points. They're 6 points clear of Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, the number 2 spot with 45 points. Again, if they win, get 48, just 3 behind Bayern Munich. As they take on our number 3s, the can it be number 3s, Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim have 42 points, and that would give them, if Hoffenheim pull off the victory, 45 points. So they'll be 3-3-3. We got plenty of time to talk about that. We'll just talk about the match day or the table the way it is today. As Stuttgart round out your top 4, they have 39 points. And then tickling your top 4 is RB Leipzig with 36 points. And then we look at the bottom of the table. You will see Mainz there in the 16th spot in that relegation playoff zone. They have 18 points. They are 4 points ahead of St. Pauli, who have 14 points in the 17th spot. And then at the bottom of the table, Heidenheim with 13 measly points, doing their best to stay a solid foundation for Bundesliga. Fun times. It's getting in the middle there. It's pretty tight. I think 20 Union Berlin have 24 points. 6 points goes all the way to 16. It's from 9 to 16. Pretty insane. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that is. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty interesting battle for the relegation spots down there. Maybe at least the mid-table area. I don't know. I can see Mainz. Like think about the game we were just talking about, Werder versus Mönchengladbach. Like they get that last-minute incredible goal. If they didn't, then Mainz would be one more spot above. And so it's just I feel like the teams that are at the bottom right now is what I'm trying to say. They're going to be on their way out. I don't think that St. Pauli and Heidenheim are better than any of the other teams above them. And time will tell, but yeah, right. Right now it feels like that. And then if, Werder getting that 16th spot, I don't feel like Mainz are that bad. I don't think they'll do it, but I'm not going to talk them up because you know what happens when I do that.
That's just your pet. Mainz are your pet team.
Yeah, it's my pet team.
It's hard to see them do bad.
Yeah, right. Oh, solid pool right there. Okay. Well, before you take your next sip, let's move on to Spain.
Let's do it. To La Liga. Did it with the bottle this time because I don't think Danny P liked my finger.
It's pretty gross.
He's pretty upset in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I don't know why you would do that.
It's not gross.
Just, like, clean it like every night. You're like cleaning it and stuff. Weird. So.
No, I don't clean it. It's just always clean.
So you don't clean it when so there's dirt underneath.
Don't specifically take time out of my night to clean it. No.
You have like a whole fingernail cleaning kit. It's just like polishing that thing.
Let's go on.
All right, fine. I was thinking about some news and notes from here. No, nothing big as far as signings go, which is kind of crazy. You usually expect it, but with all the trouble that Barca have been in and Real Madrid have more stars than they can start right now, they got their own troubles. I didn't see a lot of closing window things happening, even in the Prem, which, not to jump ahead, but yeah. So for now, let's jump in to the match day.
We'll do it. And of course, we're going to start off with your No Business Soccer podcast, top matches and headlines for La Liga match day 22. And our top match was the Basque Derby, and it was a glass case of emotion that had everything except a winner, as Athletic Club and Real Sociedad split the points with a 1-1 draw.
But the Basque Derby did live up to the hype. From the beginning, the energy in the atmosphere seemed like it was a big deal, and the drama that unfolded on the pitch backed it up. We said that the recent form doesn't matter in a derby, and Athletic proved that on the night as they defended for their lives. The best example of it was in the 4th minute of the game when the Athletic Club keeper spills a block shot directly into the path of the oncoming Ayorzabal, and the goal is wide open. And you know how that ends up most of the time. But Jesus Arezzo sprints across, throws his body in the way, and blocks it on the goal line. But there was nobody that could block Guedes. I always mess this guy's name. He's Portuguese, so I'm expecting it to be like Guedes. But there's no one that could block Guedes' goal for Real Sociedad. This dude took the ball a good 10 yards from outside of the box, takes a couple of touches to turn around, and just unleashes a ball into the back of the net. San Mamés was stunned, and it was La Real up 1-0 in the Basque Derby all the way until the 83rd minute, which is just crazy to think that was the only goal scored. But in the 83rd minute, when Bryce Mendez slightly slaps a dude for pushing him, and I mean slightly, like he brushed the guy aside, essentially. Of course, dude goes down. Mendez is sent off. Up to that point, it felt like Real Sociedad would go on to get the win. But that incident and the extra man seemed to give Athletic Club the boost they needed, and they were on them after that. It was relentless attack after attack, and they were just deciding that they were not going to stand pat, and they get the equalizer thanks to a long, snaky run from, get this, Vic, Inigo Ruiz de Galarreta, where it was like nobody wanted to take him serious as he was snaking in between people. I mean, this guy's a defender, so they're like, maybe he's not going to be able to shoot. But yeah, nobody got close. Nobody tackled him. And he just kind of let him through the box easily, and he bends it around the keeper and scores. And it just felt surreal. Like it wasn't happening the way that it did. But La Real were stunned, and San Mamés erupted. They ended up splitting the points. It's a fitting result for a good derby, and Rino Matarazzo is still undefeated in La Liga, though. So, hey, even though our Real Sociedad lost, it's okay. I mean, didn't Athletic Club used to be our team too because your uncles live there? So we just like the baskets, it's all good. Yeah. We can flip-flop. They haven't sent us a jersey or anything yet. So
no, not yet. And we could be bought, so that's fine.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is your lone top match and headline for La Liga Match Day 22, brought to you by the new Ford F-150. Let's go ahead and get to the rest of the match day. And it started on Friday as Alaves add to the misery that is Espanyol football with a 2-1 win on the road.
Espanyol have now lost 4 of their last 5 with 3 straight losses since that Barcelona loss. Something happened in that game, though, and they should have won and didn't. Now their confidence is shot, and I know I mentioned it before, but man, Alaves, they are not a better side than them, but they just finished their chances, and Espanyol had so many free headers that just wouldn't go in, and somehow they're now barely holding on to the top 6 while Alaves has back-to-back wins. Espanyol, we got to get together, guys, because this is, it was fun seeing them up there, Vic, and now they're just starting to slide down the table.
Yeah, not fun. We then go to Saturday, and they said it couldn't be done. Bottom of the table, Oviedo get just their 3rd win of the season against a Girona squad that was on a 4-match unbeaten streak. Oviedo win 1-0.
In an unlikely result, the bottom of the table Oviedo gets a home win over the previously surging Girona. It's just Oviedo's third win of the season, and Girona have been down and out before the season, so we know they know how to bounce back. But it's 2-game skid against teams that they shouldn't have dropped points to. And yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe I was giving Girona their flowers after calling them out for being relegated earlier this season. I don't know what to do, Vic. This team is just a roller coaster right now.
And our next match was a stalemate, and it's leaving Villarreal with more questions as Osasuna and Villarreal draw 2-2.
Credit to Villarreal, who were after going up 1-0. Sorry, I guess I should say that correctly. Credit to Villarreal, who after going up 1-0 gave up 2 unanswered goals, and Osasuna had El Sadar rocking. El Sadar rocking. But they fought back to got a late equalizer and stopped their losing streak at 2. And I have to shout out our boy Anta Budimir for Osasuna, because the game, yes, it wasn't a win for Osasuna, but Villarreal, good game to them, everything. But our boy Anta Budimir, dude's been on fire recently with goals in 3 straight matches, and he's now scored 6 goals in the last 6 matches. He's only had 4 goals all season before that. Our boy is making up for lost time, and he is on fire.
And Saturday continued with the newly promoted Levante able to get a point from the number 3's Atleti, drawing 0-0.
Pretty uneventful match that sees Atleti drop points to the teams that's second bottom. However, Levante are in the best form of the bottom 5 teams right now, and they have some ground to make up to get out of the bottom 3, but they've only lost once in the last 5. Atleti, on the other hand, are comfortably in the top 4 and also out of the title race, so dropping points here really doesn't kill them. And it's not the best game, not the best look, but as far as they're concerned, as long as they get in the Champions League, they don't care.
And Saturday ended with the current league leaders, Barcelona, taking care of business with a 3-1 win against Elche.
Well, Barcelona did win it by 2 goals, but Ferran Torres should have had a first half hat trick. The way that both of these teams play, it just made for a real fun, open game. But yeah, Barca could have put this one, they could have put a hurting on Elche. They could have put it to bed in the first half, and it just never happened. But a 3-1 win is still good.
We then move on to Sunday, as the number 2's Real Madrid stay just a point behind Barcelona as they beat Rayo Vallecano 2-1.
Maybe Real didn't deserve the win. Maybe they did. But either way, they get a very, very late stoppage time penalty over their crosstown rivals, Rayo. And I'm not saying that it was wrong, but it just felt like you can't give a penalty away that late in the game where that it's just like, I don't know how to explain it to non-NFL fans, but it's like you just let the boys play. Like there's going to be some pass interference in the last 2 minutes. Unless it's super egregious, you just got to let it go. That's how I kind of felt about this one. Yeah, dude got kicked, but it wasn't like the ball wasn't close. I just felt like it was a little bit, it shouldn't have happened, and it changed the course of the game. But either way, it did feel like good juju for Real Madrid though, because earlier in the match, Mbappe got past the Rayo keeper after he came out way outside of the box. Instead of driving in close, Mbappe took a long-range shot at an open goal, and it hit the crossbar. I mean, he takes that shot 100 times. He misses it maybe once. And it was just so fluky that he ended up not making that goal. And if he made that, it wouldn't even be an issue with the whole penalty at the end of the game. But either way, it felt like a revenge, or what's the word? Like a vindication for them. But either way, there's going to be a lot of fans upset and saying that the refs are after Real Madrid after this, or not after them. They're on their side.
Yeah. And then Sunday continued with Real Betis getting back into European competition consideration as they jumped to number 5, beating Valencia 2-1.
Valencia misses a penalty. Betis make theirs, and then Pablo Fornal scores late in the game to give the home side the winner. This is a fairly even game, but as it went on, Betis felt like the more composed side that would push for a winner. The good thing for Valencia is the rest of the teams around them did win, so they stay above the drop zone for now, and Betis continue to chip away at that gap at the top 4.
Next up, we had a rough watch as Getafe and Celta Vigo draw 0-0.
Yeah, sloppy, super rainy, cold night in Getafe, and Celta drop points again after their promising run. But nobody wants to play a game like that, man. It was nighttime too. Those tackles hurted. Those tackles hurted, dog. That's the South Side coming in. Tackles hurted.
They hurted. And then Sunday ended with your No Business Soccer podcast top match. That was Athletic Club and Real Sociedad. We talked about that. So we'll go on to Monday Night Football as Mallorca showed up and showed out, beating Sevilla 4-1 and showing them who the real number 14s are.
Yeah, I had to choose which Monday night game I was watching. I didn't get to watch this one, but I'm going to have to watch it back because Sevilla were starting to show a little bit of promise before this loss. I mean, let's just looking at we'll see the table here in a second, but just their form, where I had it here a second ago. Where were they at? They were a draw and a win, right? So I didn't expect them, especially for a Mallorca side. Yes, they're above them in the table, or they weren't at the time, but they're close to them in the table. I just felt like it was going to be a time for Sevilla to start making a run, and it didn't happen. Every time you think that Sevilla is going to do something good, it just doesn't happen. The only good thing going on for them is the fact that Sergio Ramos is close to buying the club. So maybe, I mean, not just him, you get my point, but he's leading that group, and it looks like it might be going through. So either way, they can't wait for that to happen, but can't give all the praise to them. Mallorca, well done. They look like they're no longer going to be stuck. I mean, let's bring up the table because I keep wanting to reference it. But
yeah, those are all your matches anyway for match day 22. We can go ahead and take a look at the table. Do you want to call out first, or you want me to go?
Yeah, well, you'll probably say it. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, stop me if you heard this before. Barcelona are your number one spot. They have 55 points. 1 point behind them is Real Madrid with 54 points. And then you have a 9-point clearance there for Atletico Madrid in the number 3 spot. They have 45 points. And then rounding out our top 4 is Villarreal. That is hard for me to say today. I don't know why. With 42 points. And then tickling our top 4 is Real Betis. But they are another clear 7 points behind Villarreal, who are in the number 4 spot. So, yeah, levels to this. And just for fun, Espanyol, 34 points, 1 point behind Real Betis in that Europa League spot, in the Conference League spot. Speaking of, some teams that will never see Conference or Europa at this point is Rayo Vallecano there in the 18th spot with 22 points. They're only followed by Levante in the number 19 spot with 18 points. And then Real Oviedo, even with their win, still occupy the number 20 spot with 16 measly points. But hey, they're fighting. Let's see what else they can do.
Yeah, so this is what I was going to say, though. When you look at the table, Mallorca were in the bottom 3, and now they're 14th. But I mean, yeah, 25 points, God, 26 points even. That is crazy. So 4 points separates 18th to 9th. I mean, it's going to be a lot of. We said it last week too. Like every week, you're just going to see these teams flip flopping, and it is funny. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you're in the 8th, but you're Real Sociedad, you're in the 8th spot, and you're still relegation thread, which is pretty.
Yeah, I know, right? after all Materazzo has done for them, like technically, it's a relegation battle.
Pretty damn close, yeah. You're only 2 weeks out,
right? A couple of losses, and that's not looking good. But I was going to mention that, Rayo Vallecano down there in the 18th spot, and you mentioned nowhere close to the Conference League or anything like that. I mean, yeah, looking at the table, it doesn't look like a thing. They're kind of like the worst version of Spurs because they're 18th in the table. They are 5th. They finished 5th in the UEFA Conference League. So for some reason, they're just balling out in Europe, but not doing that well domestically. Crazy stuff. So anyway, I don't think that Oviedo is going to be able to find their way out. Levante are getting close to that point, but hey, look at that. What do we see the past couple weeks though? Some green, some gray. That's what you want to see. So it's all right. Yeah. Okay. Enough about La Liga. I do like this race though. This is going to be a lot of fun seeing how it's going to end. But we got a lot to talk about with the Prem. So let's do it. Let's go to England.
Let's do it to the Prem.
Oh, we had some fun ones. We got a lot to talk about here. We'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. The only news and notes that I had, it's more or less because we are Americans here, obviously. So we got to talk about some American moves that did and didn't happen. But there's only one so far in the Prem, and it's Ricardo Pepi. He was supposed to be going to Fulham for a while. That was the rumor, and it was very close to being done with PSV Eindhoven. But it fell apart at the last second because they couldn't find a replacement. And so he ends up not moving, and he will be staying at PSV. And kind of sad about that. That would have been pretty cool to see him at Fulham.
Yeah, I'm going to that game, Liverpool and Fulham. That would be cool to see.
Oh, that would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, no, you have to go to Netherlands.
Thrash them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thrash them. And hey, you can do a lot of other fun stuff in the Netherlands too. So maybe not a bad shot. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what you're alluding to, but we're going to go ahead and jump in to your No Business Soccer podcast, top matches and headlines. You were done, right?
Yeah.
Or was that okay? I didn't know if you had any more news. So sorry. Top matches and headlines for Premier League match day 24. And your first match was Manchester United continuing their run and making it 3 straight, beating Fulham 3-2.
Yeah, and I think we are ready and all ready to call, I think, a bring back of sorts whenever we saw that Manchester United were not about to win this match. I mean, because think about it. Going into this match, it was like, yeah, they were not expected to get points in that one. But with the way that this was going, and we were talking about it in our chat, it just felt like we were all ready to pull it back. Be like, yeah, Manchester United are what we thought they were. But either way, the equalizer hit the back of the net, and that dude named Kevin just danced around the United defenders, hit the ball perfectly. It's funny because whenever you got signed, I know that Kevin was the guy was signed for Fulham, but whenever you see him scoring goals like that, you're like, damn, Kevin, okay. Like I hadn't seen this guy play at this level before. It was really cool. Anyway, side note, right? Getting distracted now. Anyway, he levels it 2-2, and you just think, man, there's no pressure. This team was down on the road in stoppage time. Like it was just nonchalant that how he hit that ball. Like there's no whim or nothing on his mind that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this goal, and it was so quick that he felt like it wasn't real almost, because the way that this match has played out, Fulham were down and out, and they end up making that happen so late. But that's when you start thinking like, yeah, this winning streak stopped. The improbable is not going to happen. They're not going to get this win, and Carrick is a fraud. But that's not what happened. The guy gets to keep his hair. Well, I guess we want him to shave it, right? So he gets to have hope that he'll get a haircut very soon. The miracle happened. The big man that came from Leipzig, Benjamin Sesko, who's not been at it at all this season, Vic. I don't think we've heard much from Sesko. Actually, it's funny. They moved to the Prem, and then we end up not liking them anymore. Like, I mean, I still like Florian Wirtz, but you know how it is. It's just like, all right, well, Sesko can't like that guy anymore. Anyway, he brings the ball down in the box, 7th minute of stoppage time, and casually pirouettes and places the ball in the top corner like it was nothing. I mean, this game had it all. It was the final test before I started to believe that Carrick's team is the real deal. Again, the wins over City and Arsenal, they were not expected. Those were things that had no pressure on them. He could have lost those and nobody would have batted an eye, but he didn't. He won them. This was the one that had all the expectation and all the pressure because everybody's expecting it to not happen. They do slip up in these games, but yet they did not. It's been a remarkable turnaround for Manchester United as they win 3-2 against Fulham, and Fulham gave them everything and more that they could handle. But this new look Manchester United side, they're only going to lose one more game probably, and that's the Spurs next week, right, Vic? Let's get it.
Well, funny you bring that up, and since you brought up the haircut as well, next matches are Tottenham and West Ham, 2 easily beatable teams. Do we have a haircut coming? I mean, that would be 5 in a row.
Fair enough.
Yes. But we will go ahead and go on to our second match. And just when I thought we had grown out of this, he couldn't help himself. Your boy Snooze put the Scorpion Kings Tottenham pulling off a draw with your current second placers Manchester City 2-2 in your top match.
See, this is why I always want to make this game one of the matches of the week, because who would believe that one of the greatest coaches of his generation and maybe of all time has a kryptonite, Vic, and that kryptonite is a club called Tottenham Hotspur. I don't get it. Going into halftime, it was 2-0. It was done. The team was playing like shit. Thomas Frank was getting sacked. The fans were booing. We were texting each other about glad that I got this one right by not putting it on there. The body language of the team was poor, and yet something changed after the break. Spurs were taking it to City, and City looked like they had no answers. And Solanke gets his brace, and his second was an absolute beauty of a goal. And as you mentioned, is a scorpion. And honestly, it felt like I didn't know if he was doing it on purpose. But then you look at the replay and you're like, oh my God, that might be the best goal that I've ever seen. There's a ball from Conor Gallagher. It's a little behind him and he comes off. It's not his heel, actually. It's like his foot. He flicks it behind him and just somehow perfectly loops over the keeper to complete the comeback. Spurs look like more likely, they looked like the more likely team to win the game by the end of it. It's all incredible stuff, really, though, because it's really every time we're about to see the headline written on Frank that something's going to happen and he ends up staying and it's all gravy. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it just papers over the cracks every time. The only issue is that the draw doesn't really do anyone outside of him any good, and him being Thomas Frank, because Spurs, yes, we're 9 points clear of the drop zone, which was never really in doubt. I mean, come on, instead of 8, but it's not a big deal. The other way is City, they're now 6 points behind Arsenal. So that's 2 full games, not looking great. And I don't think it's like a mixed emotions for Spurs fans, because you think about if they would have lost this game, then, they would have still been in the title race with Arsenal. Now we are helping Arsenal actively, and no one wants that. There's a ton of controversy, though, over the first goal for Spurs. I didn't mention it. I am mentioning it now. I get it. He did. Looks like he kicks through the leg, but it's ball. Some things happen. It is what it is. Right?
Yeah, I guess. It could have been a top goal. I don't know about top match of the week still. I mean, there are 2 teams that have 1 win within your past 12 combined, but it's cool. It's cool. It's it's your podcast. We can do whatever we want. So those are your top matches and headlines for Premier League match day 24. And we will get into the rest of the match day, and it started on Saturday with the blood of the Peacocks as your league leaders Arsenal get an emphatic 4-0 win on the road against Leeds.
Arsenal decided they were going to. What's that?
Sorry. I said they call Leeds the Peacocks. I found that out today. I don't know if anybody knew that. That's why I said the blood of Peacocks.
I didn't know what you were talking about. I was like, was this match on Peacock? Or, I don't know. Okay, well, thanks for clarifying.
Okay, Arsenal, real quick. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off for a second time.
No.
The other nickname that they have are the Whites, and I didn't want to started with the blood of the Whites. So
the blood of the Whites.
Yeah. So
that's Reds, Blues. That's okay. The Whites, they're doing great out there, But Arsenal has the blood of the Whites on their hand. Yeah, they can't be calling a team that. I mean, Lord.
Sorry,
like, you imagine if St. Pauli was in the Prem, they call them the Browns. Like, you can't do that. There's some teams you can't. Yeah. I'm not even going to continue this story, but yes.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying there's no reason to call these teams if they're not red and blue by the color. Let's move on from that.
For sure.
I mean, oh no, I was going to say other colors, but probably another race that can be mixed in with the color. So let's just leave it alone at that. Huh? How about that?
Yeah.
Either way,
we've lost some people.
Arsenal decided to stop messing around here, though. I'm surprised you didn't make this the belt to ass. I mean, maybe you were just excited for the Peacocks, but I don't know.
You need 5 goals.
Oh, is it 5? Okay.
You need 5 goals to get belt to ass. Yeah.
Okay. It was on the road, no less, and they extended their lead at the top of the table. They probably decided to do this because they knew that City had Spurs, and so they're like, oh man, they're about to lose. So let's go ahead and get some points.
And next up was Bournemouth doing their part in ensuring Wolverhampton stay at the bottom of the table as Bournemouth win 2-0.
It's another loss at home and another goalless game for Wolves. Not good. And the Cherries look like they're back on the up and up again. It's also looking like Kruppy, however you want to say his name, is going to be the next big signing leaving Bournemouth and probably going to City soon.
And then Saturday continued with Everton and Brighton drawing 1-1. And that's 4 matches in a row unbeaten for both teams.
Damn, this was so close to being 3 points for Everton too. My boy Dudesbury Hall, he should have had at least a brace, but he could not score to save his life this weekend. But instead, it was Beto that came to the rescue deep into stoppage time to salvage a point. And Everton, looking good out there.
And next up was Chelsea, making it 3 in a row against the previously surging West Ham, getting a 3-2 win.
West Ham are just playing much better than they were earlier this season. They even went into the half up 2-0 against Chelsea, but this new look Chelsea side are resilient and came all the way back to win it. But the bigger storyline coming out of this match was a scuffle that happened between Adama Traore, Cucurella, and Joao Pedro. And Vic, I'm sure you've seen the memes and the videos by now, but if you haven't, Traore is, I guess he's mad that he didn't get a foul. He goes to the ref, and Cucurella is kind of pushing into him. And so he just grabs this little dude and throws him out of the way, like flings him. And if you know who I'm talking, if you've never seen Adama Traore, he's massive. He kind of looks like me, like just super yoked, just jacked. And Joao Pedro decides to step up for his friend Cucurella, but he's like, how do you describe it? Like Trevor's walking up to him like, what? Like, let's go. And then Pedro's like, hey, like, backs
like,
up.
You messed up now. Like he saw him. It was like big brother, little brother. Like that's what it looked like. Like you poked your big brother a little bit too much, like pissing him off.
Like, all right,
so he turns around
I'm not playing anymore.
Goes out. Yeah.
God, it was so hilarious. And then a fight breaks out, and not really a fight, but they start pushing each other. Red cards are shown. Either way, like Chelsea's annoying sometimes, so it's fine. Just throw them around a bit. It was pretty cool to see that. Either way, they got the win, so they got 3 points.
Yeah, and I think my exact reaction is because like I'm not a big Cucurella fan, so whenever he got thrown, I was like, "Oh yeah, throw him." That's right. And then he got pushed, and the guy pushed, and the guy turned around, and I was like, "Oh."
Damn, he going. And you know what's funny? He's always getting picked on, dude. His hair's getting pulled. Like he must just piss off so many people because I feel like he's always getting fouled.
Yeah, he dives all the time too. So that's why I don't really like him. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move on. As Saturday ended with Liverpool turning things around with a decisive 4-1 win against Newcastle.
That's why you wanted to hurry up. Liverpool finally get their win in emphatic fashion against Newcastle, and it's almost exactly what you want to see. Goals from Wirtz and Ekitike, who are both really starting to bust out, although Ekitike has probably been their best player for the season, so he's not busting out, except Szoboszlai. Maybe you'd say Szoboszlai. Who would you say is the best player this?
Szoboszlai, for sure.
All right, fair enough.
Ekitike
but Newcastle, what'd you say?
Ekitike number 2, and then Wirtz. But anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. But Newcastle, outside of the Gordon goal to open the scoring in the game, they had absolutely nothing for Liverpool. They really need Gimenez back and healthy because they look lost without him out there. But either way, credit to Liverpool. They get it done 4-1.
We then move to everyone's favorite Sunday, as Brentford are able to rebound against the previously on fire Aston Villa, winning 1-0.
If you're Villa, you can't lose this game at home, especially not at home, especially not when you're in the title race, especially not when you're up a man for the entire second half. They outshot Brentford 25-4 and still lost this match. It's a big win for the Bees on the road against a top 3 club in the Prem. And this is a hell of a way to bounce back from consecutive defeats. I don't know the XG for Aston Villa, but I imagine it's probably up there with the Como one that we saw.
And our next match was your No Business Soccer podcast top matchup of the week. That was Man U and Fulham. We talked about that. So we're moving on to Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, splitting the points as they get a goal apiece, a point apiece, drawing 1-1.
The action was in the first half of this game only, though, with both goals and a red card coming before the break. Nico Williams decided to punch a ball in the box heading towards goal, and that was the game. Palace, they took the penalty, they took the advantage, and then, Nottingham Forest couldn't bounce back from that. They draw 1-1. It was kind of uneventful. I was hoping there'd be a little bit more fouls, some more spice going on. It wasn't too spicy.
And Sunday ended with your completely unbiased, fair and honest match of the week. That was Tottenham and Manchester City. We talked about that. So we move on. Y el fútbol del lunes por la noche ha terminado. Es Sunderland 3, a Burnley 0.
Oh, okay. You did the whole thing in Spanish. All right. I see you there. Sorry, caught me off guard with that one. Yes, Sunderland, it's the same story. They're at home, Stadium of Light. They're going to whoop that ass. And they get that done against a team that, quite frankly, they're just better than right now. And so, we'll see how they can better themselves on the road. But for now, keep bringing them people at their house and they'll whoop that ass.
And that'll do it for Premier League Match Day 24. Let's go ahead and get a refresher of the table. Don't need a refresher on top. Of course, it's Arsenal. They have 53 points in the number 1 spot. They are followed by Manchester City, who are 6 clear now. They have 47 points. They are followed by Aston Villa, who have 46 points. And then rounding out your top 4 is still Manchester United off their 3-win streak now with 41 points. And then tickling our top 4 is Chelsea with 40 points. And Liverpool still on the outside looking in the number 6 spot. And then way outside of any Champions League or European competition considerations is West Ham United. They have 20 points in the number 18 spot. They are followed by Burnley, who have 15 points in the number 19 spot. And then, of course, Wolverhampton Wanderers still trying to reach double digits. They have 8 points, a solid foundation for the rest of the Premier League table. Get it together, Wolves. But
that's crazy.
Man, I don't know. It's kind of like, wouldn't it be crazy to see a team not get double digits? Has that happened before? Not get double-digit points? There's got to be something like that.
How many points did Southampton get last season? Did they? Oh, they had 12.
Damn.
I think that yeah, because in Sheffield the year before had 16. So I think that is it Derby County? I always hear people talk about how like the worst point total. I'm just
I don't know. I'm gonna find out. Producers, stat checkers or fact checkers.
Oh, 11 points by Derby County in the 07-08 season. So
bro, 11 points. Oh my
Southampton got it by 1. And right now, I mean, but Wolves have plenty of games.
Yeah,
you know, they could draw 4 games, or I mean, snatch a win. You know. Oh wait, that would only be 11 though. So they'd have to do a little bit more than that. Okay, all right. Nothing else for me on this, Vic. Anything else on the table?
Nope, got nothing.
All right, DJ,
I can't say nothing.
Play our music.
There it is. Everyone, thank you for spending some time with us and talking about some European football. Everyone, be sure to like and subscribe on all platforms. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter. That is at No Biz Soc Pod, because those names are way too damn long. Everyone, we will come back and talk about the upcoming games this next weekend. And until then, cheers, everyone.
Cut your nails.
Peace.